They're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
With Audacity, if we want to do a countdown, what do you guys do?
Yeah, we do a countdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you do countdown and clap, or what do you?
We'll do a countdown and then like 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, that's what a countdown is, Boix.
Well, what's a countdown? No, that's a game show in the UK. You can't fool me.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I know.
Whoa, hold up. That's not a countdown. That's when Dracula falls over. You can't fool me. Countdown. Duh. I just watched this movie. I know it.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Alright, we should record in Audacity because it's fucking gold.
It's gold. It's all good.
It's gold.
Alright, I'm ready.
Alright, what is this about a countdown?
God damn.
It's the final countdown.
Oh yeah, let's start in the middle of the joke. That'll work.
What's the joke?
Welcome to Rough Cuts. Thanks, everybody. No, that's our start now. That you did it.
Oh, because I fucked up?
Yeah, you fucked
shit.
up. All right, this is my co-host Boix, who just fucked up. And I'm your host Villian, and we have special guest lecturer here today, expert and aficionado, Evac.
Hello, it's me, Devious Vacuum. Oh, woo!
We figured we need to get an expert on dog movies, werewolf movies, and the bisexual agenda. And
the American bisexual experience in the early 2000s. That's what we're all here to give a group lecture on for this podcast. It's not even about dogs anymore.
I'm here to listen and learn, thank you. I just,
I see how it is. Yeah, so we've been trying to get you on for a while now, and I'm glad that it finally came together. So we could talk about the cinematic masterpiece that is Van Helsing.
Absolutely. Van Helsing, the Hugh Jackman vehicle from 2004.
Wait.
Needs no introduction. We all remember seeing this movie.
Not the Josh Brolin Western film from 2010?
No. That's a different movie. Yeah. What a good anime.
Oh! I know why I'm getting this fucked up. I was like, I didn't expect this movie to be like this, but now I remember why. It's because I was expecting Jonah Hex, which is also
That's a different movie. That's a different movie.
God damn it! I can't believe it took me the entire runtime of...
You sounded... I thought your general confusion was about all the overt sexual themes, the monsters in horrible CG attacking each other, the goopy eggs... But no, it was Jonah Hex. That was your confusion?
It was literally the whole time I was sitting there going like, man, this is nothing like what I thought it would be. I seem to remember this movie. Like I never saw Jonah Hex either. But I remember the trailers. And I was like, this seems weird. I don't remember Van Helsing looking like this when I've seen pieces of it. And I'm like, oh, I was thinking of Jonah Hex.
It's fine. All the straight guys in the comments will be like, I also thought you were talking about Jonah Hex. Weird.
Oh, goddamn. Ow. I'm being attacked.
Oh, no.
So we watched Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. This movie has a lot of influences. Clearly Underworld because of Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah. But also, this is the time where every movie was Underworld. Like, there was a period, I don't know if young people listen to this, but there was a period of time where every movie was Underworld.
I can confirm that no young people listen to this.
Our audience is 30 to 50 Japanese men. We got it.
Okay, so we all remember this time when movies were like this.
No, it ended in about 2010 when Jonah Hex came out.
Because there's The Mummy, there's Underworld. There's like bits of influences from Batman and Bram Stoker's Dracula, the 94, I think.
Well, and like
Keanu
Indiana
movie.
Jones, because a large part of a lot of these movies is the like general swashbuckling adventure feel of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
it feels like a 40s or 50s serial almost. Yeah, at times, but way sexier.
Yes, and a lot darker. I don't mean in subject matter. I mean just everything's black.
Because it's goth. It's goth.
It's Hot Topic. It's so what Hot Topic was at the time too. Just like everything. It's just such a perfect distillation of everything that I personally was into in 2004.
Yeah, I remember when, right during the transformation scene, because spoilers, we have Van Helsing turn into a good boy, and he has the transformation scene, and he's ripping off his skin, and underneath was just a band t-shirt, and I was confused for a moment, but then I remembered the general theme of the times.
Oh, but it was Franz Ferdinand, so it's cool. Yeah, you don't understand. They're coming back.
He was wearing a Misfits shirt.
No, that was the other werewolf.
That was the other werewolf.
Oh.
That it represented the difference in their personalities.
I felt a lot of like Tim Burton too, but this is pre Willy Wonka because that was 2005. But it feels very Willy Wonka at times.
Yeah.
And part of it's because of the mass use of CG throughout the entirety of the film.
Yeah, but like the Mummy did all of this kind of thing too, the swashbuckling kind of side of it, the like PG horror in a way, do you know what I mean? Like
it's camp.
Yep.
Camp. The Mummy is also the other bisexual awakening film, so it makes sense.
Yeah. No dogs in that one though.
No.
Oh,
is Anubis in there? Maybe the second one?
I don't
we don't
think
want
so.
to talk about the second or third Mummy movies.
They made more? Wait, I don't even think they made more.
They made 4 of them, I think.
Oh my
or
God.
5.
Ow.
Was that before or after they tried to reboot it?
Yeah, because they did, oh God, okay. I gotta go onto my deep dive of the Mummy lore. No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Okay,
you brought it up.
It's okay. That's what this movie is for me, so you're allowed.
And then there's the Scorpion King, but that was like an offshoot. But then there was also like a direct VHS offshoot of the Scorpion King after that. There was like a Scorpion King 2. And then there was... And then they eventually like brought back the mainline Mummy movies, and they had but it was in China now, and it was something about like Chinese emperors or the Terracotta Army or some shit. I don't know.
Like the one thing that everyone knows.
Yeah.
The terracotta soldiers.
The terracottas from Hellboy 2. Yeah.
I did not see any more after that, but I did see the Scorpion King.
Yeah, it's... Oh, God.
Because The Rock was in it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Much like this movie, it featured a lot of fantastic CGI.
And oiled man chests.
That too, yes. There's tons... Again... like I said, this whole era, you're totally right, D-Vac. This whole era is just like a mishmash of that style. Like, it's all just oiled chests and bad CGI for days.
It's very video games because of the bad CGI. I feel like also, like, just really makes me feel like I'm playing Gauntlet Dark Legacy for the GameCube.
Oh.
I was thinking, like, so I own the video game. I haven't played it yet. I looked it up. It's apparently a Devil May Cry-like.
It is!
Also very funny to me.
Yes.
And the other... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go. You can go.
I was going to go off on a tangent, because the other thing that I saw was that there's also an animated prequel.
No.
Oh, yeah, no, there's a short film. Yeah, yep. I saw that. Yeah.
Which tells you the backstory of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Because we need to know that in anime form.
Okay, because maybe this isn't the time to bump into this because this is literally the end of the movie, but I have a question, and you both seem to be way better versed on this movie than I am, and I don't know if it was just that I didn't pay enough attention or was too tired or everyone talking or what, but they did a thing on the backstory of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Could they have not done something about Van Helsing's backstory? What the fuck was that? Who is he?
You're just going to have to go watch a YouTube explainer on that one.
Yeah, that's for YouTube explainers and a 6-hour documentary. I'll get you a link.
You can't trick me into learning Catholicism. You won't do it.
This movie taught us a lot about the fictional religion of Catholicism that was only made up for movies.
Catholicism again, right. Man, I was just making jokes about it, and then I immediately remembered again.
I was so caught up in Catholicism movie universe that I forgot that Catholicism was real.
Wait, what? Wait, Catholicism is real? They made up a whole religion for this movie.
Yeah, I'm not
ridiculous.
learning a fake fucking religion to learn more about stupid bad B movies from 2000.
Holy water, crosses, rosemary, none of it makes any damn sense.
Yeah, so many rules. On top of all the vampire rules and the werewolf rules, we're just supposed to come into this with so much prior knowledge. And it's like you have to watch all the MCU movies before you can see the latest one. You tell me I have to read the whole Bible?
Right?
I mean, all the characters had, like,
that's a real book they had it burned? I thought it was a prop.
Wait, no, that was the Holy Bible. That's different. Yeah, you're thinking of the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah, they published Bibles after this movie as a supplementary lore material.
That was a Hot Topic product.
Yeah, you could buy them in Hot Topic.
The Bible they had in this movie, you could. Let's be honest. That thing was like metal as fuck.
Yeah. So, real quick before we get into the plot more, this movie had a $160 million budget. It's almost entirely CG.
Yeah.
And it bombed badly. However, $320 million profit. So
I was gonna say it made its money back, right? Like,
it critic bombed and audience bombed, but everybody went to see it anyway. And you know what? It was a good time, so I'm okay with that, I guess.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie. It's a haunted house.
It's basically a dark ride where, like,
it's a dark ride of a movie.
Like, you never know if it's going to be a jump scare or if it's going to be somebody riding someone's face. It's just sharp turn.
If I think of this as like a Disneyland dark ride, but where I can be very drunk because I'm in my own house, it does make it a lot more palatable. I can understand now. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like Resident Evil 8, right? Resident Evil Village, they came out, right? It's basically like a haunted house, like, right? You're just going from set piece to set piece, doing fun horror stuff. I don't think that's ever not been fun.
I just wish it didn't look like shit.
That it's gonna be tough to find a movie from the early 2000s
that doesn't look like
that.
I know.
We saw Blade Trinity. We've already seen this movie.
No.
Oh, Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity looks a lot better than this movie.
Wow, the Blade Trinity apologizer is logged in.
Yes, in comparison to the shit in this, for what it looks like, yes. Easily.
Oh my god, that was another one on the rotation when me and my friends would have sleepovers when we were 15 years old. We would watch this movie, Blade Trinity, and of course the Queen of the Damned movie.
That makes sense.
I have to say, because like every time, so this movie is mostly CG, and they use that CG to very stupid effect, where everything is just 30 times longer than it should be and looks ridiculous, which is kind of actually good. I'll admit.
Like all the locations are too big. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was one of the things I was going to get into, because to cover for how bad the CG looks, like, for example, the gigantic door on the castle, this absurdly large door in the final act of it, where there's Dracula's castle, where they have to go through a frozen mirror, whatever. And they jump over the door with Van Helsing as a dog, and it transitions to the CG, and it looks exactly like DVAC, I think, said, "Welcome to Orgrimmar." Yeah, because it is 100%.
The capital city from World of Warcraft.
It just looks like that cartoony World of Warcraft stuff, especially for the door in specific. Yeah. But what
everything is so video games.
Yeah, what happens is, because when they transition out of the CG, I think that they're probably trying to get the set to match. And for me, there are so many sets that, like, they're really elaborate, but a lot of the stuff, like in this castle in particular, when he goes to like bend some bars afterwards, and it all looks like bad Star Trek stuff, like everything's made out of styrofoam very obviously. Like it's all this foam shit.
Do you mean like original Star Trek is what you're talking about?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, like it all looks like this really fake,
not
overly
the new
large
Star Trek is what we need. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Like original Star
like
Trek.
a haunted house.
But like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But it looks to match the way that it looks so cartoony in the CGI because they can't render it better than that. Everything just looks fucking cartoony when it's even real.
Well,
and
it's just it's an anime. It's a cartoon. Yeah, you didn't.
It is an anime.
You didn't pick up on that? It's a cartoon.
It would have succeeded more as an anime for sure.
I'm
100%.
Sickos.
That's true.
So should we talk about the way this movie goes? Because it's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it starts out in black and white in ye olden times.
1 year ago.
1 year in the past, where it was black and white. You could tell, because it's in the past.
Which is funny. Like, I think probably another big reason why somebody wouldn't like this would be that you think it's going to be more serious than it is. And like minute one, it is not taking itself seriously.
No, I will give you that. Yes.
No, it goes full goof mode almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, the advertising, the poster, like, also, like, how movies were at the time. Like, it also, like, you know, they were looking for probably, I would guess, a lot more edge than this movie has.
Yeah, I'll give you that. This movie's not super edgy, which is surprising considering the general, like, palette and tone and stuff of what it looks like.
Yeah, like, this could have been way darker and grittier, and it would have sucked even more.
We said that we were going to watch the Underworld series, Boyk, so I guess we should watch some of the Underworld series so that we can
That's what
really
Underworld
know.
is, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
So, it starts out in the past. It shows Dracula talking to Victor Frankenstein. I always mess that up. And they create Frankenstein's monster with Igor, who's cool. And then after the monster's created, Dracula's like, oh, I don't need you anymore, Victor. You can die now, or whatever. Well, Igor, help me out. What are you doing, bro? Nah, man. I'm done with your internship bullshit. Drac said he'd pay me. What do you do? What, give me a free soda once in a while, you cheap piece of shit?
Pretty much.
I think that's pretty much what happened, right?
We have to talk about Dracula.
Dracula,
played by Richard Roxburgh, and absolutely just a stage actor put into this film, acting in a stage play separate from everyone else.
Yes.
Which is really surprising. I was going to ask, actually, my two experts here, my panel of experts. Mm-hmm. Do you think that everybody else overacted to try and catch up to him? Or do you think that they couldn't? Or do you think that everyone... Yeah, and then they couldn't.
Because they couldn't,
Or do you think that everyone was told to start with a baseline of camp, and then he was like, well, I'm Dracula. I've got to do it twice as hard. And so he just went over the top of everybody.
I can only assume he's just like that. And nobody else could even hold a candle. Everyone else was thinking about, like, their career and what movie's coming after this. But not Dracula is fully present on set.
I think he saw Street Fighter the movie and was like, I'm going to do what Raul Julia did, you know? I'm going to have a damn good time being Dracula.
To be fair, when I look at Richard Roxburgh's Wikipedia page, it specifically lists, oh, he starred in a bunch of action films, like Mission Impossible 2, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and then Van Helsing, and before that he did Moulin Rouge, and doesn't list anything after Van Helsing, so I guess not caring about his career was maybe...
I mean, if you're at the top, like, where else is there to go?
Yeah.
Retire time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, by the way, Kate Beckinsale just plays Underworld. That's her character.
Kate Beckinsale as Underworld.
Which I think is right. It's like when they had Buffy in the Scooby-Doo movie. It was just Buffy.
And then they just made her Buffy, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to do, right? Just You have this person, just do it. Who cares?
I mean, it's obviously what they want to, because so Van Helsing, so all the villagers chase down Frankenstein after Dracula kills the doctor. Frankenstein gets up, throws Dracula into the fireplace in an incredibly comic fashion.
Yeah, it rules.
Super damn fast, and then carries the doctor out. The villagers chase him down, and they think burn Frankenstein alive inside of this windmill that is inexplicably full of absinthe.
It's where they keep their absinthe and gunpowder.
Yeah, the absinthe windmill.
You know, the grain windmill.
And then it cuts back into full color in a year later, where Van Helsing is fighting Mr. Hyde.
Right, because he find Hyde's giant blunt.
Yes,
but
I wanted to mention, so like when it goes to Van Helsing is, of course, in like the most ridiculous, obvious hat and a big cloak and all of, like, he is done to the nines in Victorian Gothic kind of shit. And so of course, like, if you're gonna have Kate Beckinsale in this movie and be the female lead, you're gonna have to basically have her be Underworld, because that's what you're going for, right? Like, that's why you cast her. So you're right. Like, that's 100% what they should have done with her.
Yeah, let's also take a moment to acknowledge Hugh Jackman's wig in this film.
Right.
As I noted when we were watching the movie, you couldn't do this today. You couldn't have, like, it's him and him with this wig and Aragorn. And Viggo Mortensen's hair in in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where like they used to do them way fluffier than they do now, and I don't think you could get away with that much volume in today's media landscape.
Something that you said about it really killed me when we were watching the movie, which is that you called it this Cocker Spaniel ass hairdo, and I was like, "Holy shit, it totally is."
Yeah,
it really foreshadows him being a dog.
It's very wavy and fluffy. Yeah.
I just want to give him good pats. He's a good boy.
Yeah, we love a man with good hair.
He picks up Dr. Jekyll's giant blunt and then tracks him down by the smell of his weed, I guess. I think that's what happened.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
He went to the dankest church in the fucking place.
Yeah. Look, because this is an OVA, everything happens at an accelerated timeline. Like they are packing the whole 12-episode first season into just a little over 2 hours. So they had to, I'm joking, there was never a show of this. Just for our younger viewers.
They should have had it, though.
We're like 22 minutes in, and I think we've discussed about 2 minutes of the film.
Look, this is a dense film.
It's action-packed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing.
So, anyways, they go to like the bell tower of a church. And
it's Notre Dame.
Or Notre Dame, whatever
yes,
it is.
It is literally Notre Dame. But,
wait,
Rip also.
Wait, he killed the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why is that also Jekyll?
You can very much forgive Boyks for not knowing that's Notre Dame, because it is the most CGI from 2000 Notre Dame-ass place possible. It is awful.
Because this whole scene is like the first CG spectacle where they also have you interacting. Like, they have Van Helsing interacting with a very CG character in a Harry Potter style, I will say, because it doesn't look good.
No, yeah.
And he's, like, dismembering him, and they're flying around on ropes, and he does his Batman stuff, where he's shooting his zipline gun.
He has a hook shot, and he can shoot, like, 6 miles without losing any momentum.
It's long. Yeah, it's to have a rope that long inside of such a small pistol...
It's video games.
Again, the thing that they do so much in this movie for the CG is just make everything longer. Like, everything's just 10 times bigger or longer than it is. It's really weird.
And we're not even talking about Hugh Jackman's... Anyway.
So, Hugh Jackman, his saw blades. So he has... We are talking about them, actually. I need to talk about
Van Helsing's iconic weapons.
His iconic
dual handheld rotating saw blades.
that you can fire. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like Jekyll sticks him in a bell, but then he digs his way through the floor with his handsaws.
But then it's a fake out because he's in the bell when Hyde picks it up, and then he bonks him on the head, and it's great.
It's very ridiculous, but there's a lot of throwing people through windows, and so of course he eventually throws Mr. Hyde through the main cathedral window of Notre Dame, and he dies in front of all the Parisian peasants as they yell up at Van Helsing about what a bad boy he is.
Because when he hits the ground... When he hits the ground, he's Jekyll again.
Because he transformed, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, you just killed this old man.
You just murdered a man. An innocent... They're just normal men.
just normal
just
men.
Innocent men.
Innocent men. But then Van Helsing goes, fuck, I guess I'd better go back to my secret lair with Q in the Vatican.
In the Vatican.
And then we're introduced to this made-for-this-movie fake religion called the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in the Catholic Church, they have sergeants that yell at you for being a rogue, you're a loose cannon, Van.
That's a cardinal.
Turn in his badge and saw blades. Okay, listen, again, you can't throw these terms at me. I'm not going to learn your fucking fake religion from your early 2000s.
It's like 40K lore, okay? Like, there's a lot of other words for normal things.
I don't need to know about the Catholic Ukbrock or whatever. I don't need to know.
Yeah.
The
what are these ossuaries?
You're a loose cannon. Give me your badge and gun, Van.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to bring him in alive, not kill him. Anyways,
right.
I have a new mission where I need you to kill Dracula.
Yeah.
And not
Also
bring
in
him
the background of the secret Vatican lair where they make weapons, there's a representative of all major world religions just walking around in the background, as if the Vatican, as if the Roman Catholic Church has brought together all the world's religions working in peace and harmony.
Yeah.
Including a specifically called out Muslim guy who says what in Allah's name are you doing to work to defeat evil.
And then they all work together to defeat the Dracula. It all makes sense if you think about it.
The Roman Catholic Church is well known for its diversity and tolerance towards other religions. You can't trick me.
You know what movie stole this idea, actually? The new Exorcism movie stole this. Where all the world's religions got together to kill Pazuzu.
Okay, so they have all of the religions. They also have Q, like I said, because this is kind of a James Bond film, in that there is the funny friar sidekick of Van Helsing who's showing off all of his cool gadgets. And I do like one thing that they have with the friar is that they let him say the bad words. He's allowed to do them.
You cursed. Not very well, mind you, but you're a monk. You shouldn't curse at all.
Actually, I'm still just a friar. I can curse all I want.
Now, I'm curious, Ilian, do you remember this character's name?
It's Friar...
I also don't remember. So
you don't know his name? His name's Carl.
It was Carl, you're right. You're right, it's Carl.
And he's played by Faramir.
The funny thing is I actually know the name of the actor. I'm like, it's David
Wenham.
Yeah. I knew that, but... So he's introduced to him, and Van Helsing basically kidnaps him to take him along. They're going to be going to go and kill Dracula before he kills the final members of the...
the Valerius family.
Valerius family,
yeah,
sure.
Who's cursed by Dracula or something.
Yes.
Well, the father Valerius made a vow that him and his descendants would never enter heaven as long as Dracula lived, so that all of his descendants would hunt down and kill Dracula, and one of them would finally do it. So they're prophesied to win. Okay. I don't know. And the Catholic Church is like, we're gonna help them to heaven.
That makes sense. So they go to Transylvania, and they're followed around by literally everybody in town, who happens to also be everybody that attacked Frankenstein's monster a year ago in the black and white dimension.
And it's so close. Like, I think that's another way that it feels very Tim Burton-y, is like the background is so close. The characters don't have any space. When there's no CG, everyone's really in tight.
It's extremely tight in, yeah. I think that part of that, I feel, has to be that they didn't actually make a lot of sets because it was mostly CG.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much that is.
I mean, it's just a crowd standing in a green screen room, right? Like, there's not much there.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to have too much of that on screen. You did skip one thing, which was the introduction of Anna, Kate Beckinsale's character, and the brother of her, because they're hunting a werewolf, and the brother dies and falls into Mist from 96 or whatever.
The video game.
Yeah,
Mist.
The water effect. Why did they have to have him fall 7,000 feet and thus do it only in CG and thus have to have those water effects?
Wait,
so far away.
Which falling 7,000 feet into water scene are you talking about?
Specifically the one where the brother dies.
No,
he's
you need to be more specific. There's multiple of those scenes.
Oh, that's true. There are.
It happens to him specifically twice.
Specifically, multiple times. Yeah, you need to be more specific about this. I don't.
God, he falls into the same water effect.
The way he falls in, it's like the Die Hard effect, where the like it just disappears. Or if you've ever been as good as me to watch a film called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, where they go back in time. It just disappears into the background.
Yeah.
Like a swipe effect.
They just make it smaller and smaller. Yeah.
It looks real bad. But
great.
So the town is going to stop them, and Van Helsing doesn't have a pommel horse in the middle of town to gymkhana them to death. So he has to talk to Anna, who is telling them basically, like, we don't trust people from out of Transylvania. What are you doing here? Show me your face. Take off your shirt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Sorry, yeah. It was implied.
There's sexual tension between the characters because there's a comic mishap where one of them lands on top of the other one in a sexual position.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
You'll never guess who the top is. But
But because she's a strong and independent female character, she wrestles with him to decide who's going to be on top for a minute.
That's true.
But they have a big frolicking fight throughout the city.
Because they're arguing, and then the wives of Dracula show up.
Dracula's brides!
Just literally behind Anna.
Mm-hmm. Well, because he has to pull out his machine gun crossbow and point it directly at her when she threatens him, so that then it can have the fake out of, oh, he wasn't shooting her, he was shooting behind her.
Shout outs to women. My fellow women listening who remember Dracula's brides. Hello. I'm sure you're thinking about some very specific scenes right now, and I want to say that I'm with you.
They do a lot of grabbing her neck and licking her face, and they do a lot.
They're bimbos. They're also
they're just bimbos. Yeah.
They're vampire bimbos, and they just have the power of a feral bat creature, and it really carries them a lot. But they're not doing a lot of thinking and planning. They're just doing a lot of showing up, being hot, and then not managing to ever kill anyone.
They're pretty great.
Correct.
And man, they're special effects.
Yeah. As Anna is trying to get away from one of the wives, she jumps out of a stained glass window, I believe, into a tree, and then falls down the tree multiple times, rolling over.
I appreciated that so much.
That's really good.
Yeah, I wonder if they were we can't have her be just perfect at everything right away. That doesn't make sense. So they were well, we're not going to change the stunt. We're just going to make it so that she gets hurt doing it.
Yeah, they do. It's kind of funny how much they have her and Van Helsing doing wild CG backflip ninja shit, and then immediately eating pavement 5 seconds later because they like tripped over a stone, and I kind of admire them for that. Like it's incredible the stunts that they will have these characters. I mean, stunts in the loosest possible sense. And then just again, like they'll eat shit just stubbing a toe. I don't get they're incredible.
Kate Beckinsale runs up a wall and does a backflip so many times in this movie.
Just because.
Well, she backflips out this window. Yeah. That's the thing, is she does like this huge arcing backflip, and like the camera spins around her as she's like pirouetting through the air, and then she's just like,
well, that's why she ate
into the fucking tree, and then like hits every branch on the way down, and you're like, oh, okay.
Some of it feels like a comedy joke, but and it's intentional, but it doesn't like fit the feeling of the scene very well.
I don't know if they know what they're doing, making it this funny. Like, I don't know if that's intentional or not, because it's amazing. But
we are introduced to the greatest villain of the entire movie, and the thing that determines everybody's fate at any moment, and that is clouds.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you were going to talk about the grave robber, but yes, the cloud is the character, is extremely important.
Because the clouds, based on their own whims, can decide if vampires can come out in daylight, or if werewolves transform back to normal men. Innocent men.
Just innocent men. All the time, the clouds are so important in this, because the clouds come out and basically save our characters, all the vampires disappear, then the clouds come back, and the vampires come back out, and we're treated to part 2 of this fight, because it wasn't over for some reason. But eventually, he kills one of the brides, and the rest of them that are apparently psychically linked run away from Kate Beckinsale, and the fight's over. Back to Dracula.
Yeah, so Dracula has Anna's brother, who died, and is definitely dead, but is a werewolf now.
Yeah. Because that in the process of him dying, he got bit by a werewolf because he was trying to kill a werewolf.
And then somehow he like teleported from the bottom of that cliff to Dracula's castle so that Igor can torture him with a cattle prod.
Yeah.
Because that's just what he does, you know.
Which doesn't say.
Yeah, Dracula's like, maybe lay off, and he's like, that's what I do. That's the kind of humor.
It's fun. What do you want?
Why do you torment that thing, so?
It's what I do.
Yeah, Igor comes around the corner wearing an I Love Torture shirt, and Dracula's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know, it's just motions at himself vaguely.
Did the shirt not
like,
explain?
I don't know, man. Like,
what do you... Yeah.
You did hire me, you know what I'm like. Which also, there's a good Igor and a bad Igor, which is kind of amazing in that I do want to briefly mention that there is a townsman that is the gravekeeper. Like, he makes the coffins. Yeah. And he's
credited on IMDb as Top Hat.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. And he's just a nasty man. He wants to burn down Frankenstein's castle in the beginning. He's kind of the ringleader at that scene. And now he's back again, and he's just constantly a bastard for no reason. And he finally betrays Van Helsing with no explanation, and like there's not even anyone else around. He's not betraying him to Dracula.
He said it's just my nature.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
He just wanted to do it. Yeah,
you know. He goes to hit him with a shovel, but I'm saying like he's not even doing it like there's no secret like relationship that he has with the bad guys. He's just an asshole.
It's great. It's again because of the OVA. You know, they were cut for time. They couldn't have the whole episode that explains that character's backstory. So a lot of the fans weren't happy with it.
The parallels between him and the other Igor are incredible. It's quite a choice.
They made like two like very pale, gaunt, fucked up little guys with long blonde hair, and they were like, "We can't. That's too confusing for the audience. We can't have two of them."
What if we had several dozen fucked up little guys that run around Dracula's castle at all
What if
hours?
Dracula had Oompa Loompas? Yeah, because that's what it's missing.
Oh yeah, so tell us, what's Dracula's master plan then that we learn?
Oh, okay, so Dracula's master plan is he needs somebody of that family's blood to power an electrical conduit that will zap his Dracula eggs.
Now, what are Dracula eggs?
Well, you see, Dracula's fuck, right?
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, I could have guessed that, Boix, my friend.
I've seen Dracula in this film for more than 2 seconds, so I understand that man fucks.
And then
You're saying Dracula fucks women?
That's the surprising part.
That's the surprising part, yeah. Though, and it's implied he fucks Van Helsing, too. But...
Oh, very much, yeah.
Yeah.
God, we need to get into that lore eventually.
But
I'm still mad about it.
After having the sex, I'm not sure if it's Dracula or the wives that lay the eggs.
The wives, they lay thousands of eggs.
Okay, they lay the eggs. And the eggs are like giant boogers that hang from the ceiling, very like Gremlins style, for some reason.
This is not explained. It's not explained how the eggs work, how they lay them. We don't get any of that. That's not for us. It's PG-13.
But
Igor in the background is slowly closing his biology textbook.
Yeah. But all of Dracula's egg babies were born dead, basically. So he needs to bring them back to life using Dr. Frankenstein's electric formula. And only people with that bloodline have enough to power his system because he doesn't have a generator. I guess.
Yeah, for some reason, it's not enough juice just to put electricity through them. It has to be electricity that is passed through some sort of source of power or immortality.
I guess.
Something. Yeah, not explained. Doesn't matter. It's just bullshit.
Yeah. And otherwise, we find out what happens.
Yeah, because Anna and Van go to the castle, Dracula's Frankenstein castle, that he stole from Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes.
A year ago.
His
first
castle. This is Dracula's summer home,
many
not his
castles.
real castle.
Yeah, this is just it's an Airbnb, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's flipping it. He's got the Dwergar in there working on it.
That's why I didn't have the big door yet.
But the Draculas explode because he's trying to channel it through her brother, who he's like, hopefully the werewolf blood in you will make it better. I guess. I don't know. But it's not enough. I'm gonna just shoot you with electricity now.
And we also get the first Van Helsing versus Dracula fight. Mm-hmm. I guess.
So Van Helsing, an important element of this is that Van Helsing has lost his memory. And, the Catholic Church is kind of like, don't worry about it. But Van Helsing is missing a lot of memories, and we get some implications, like he remembers fighting in Rome. And so, like, we get these implications that he's this some sort of immortal. But we don't know what's going on, and we don't know why he lost his memories. When he first encounters Dracula, Dracula's like, oh, I know you. Fuck you, you're Van Helsing. And he's like, have we met? And Dracula's like, you wound me. Don't you remember those nights we shared?
300 years ago? It's extremely implied that they fucked. Like, extremely.
Of course they did.
Yeah. Like, not to go full Fujoshi, but they were truly in love versus the wife thing is for procreation.
Absolutely.
And then Van Helsing ziplines 6 miles out across a cliff to get away from him.
Because every castle exists literally in the center of a gigantic mountain range, 700 feet in the air, with the nearest ledge at least 3 miles out. Like, it's so fucking dumb.
And this is the second time Werewolf Brother falls into a river down a cliff and disappears totally dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just wanted to really quickly, though, I guess I must have missed the Van Helsing missing his memory thing. They had to have done that in a 15-second dialogue during the whole Catholic underbelly thing, right?
I think it was during the talking to the cardinal about his sins.
And also the very first thing that happens when they get to the town in Transylvania is Carl asks Van Helsing, so how much do you remember?
Yeah.
And so, like, they're walking through the people, and he's, like, talking about it out loud, which is, like, I don't know, not the best OPSEC.
Sure. Sometimes you write a plot. Sometimes you just do a improv scene. Run an improv. All right, in this scene, you're Van Helsing and you're fighting a monster. We lost your memory. Go. So how much do you remember? Wink.
They're just trying to cram it all in, right? They don't have.
You don't have time,
the 12-episode first season.
So this thing is really dense.
After all of Dracula's eggs hatch and then die.
Yeah.
And they get away.
They explode into Nickelodeon slime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's like Gak slime.
Yeah.
I always wanted Gak, but I can never order it. Anyway.
Well, you'd have been like Van Helsing then and taken off your gloves so that you could run your hands through
so you could touch the Gak. Yeah.
Yeah, just to see, how much Gak is this? Is this gacky enough? It seems pretty gacky. Let me just see.
Yeah, let me just do exactly one practical effect.
It's so weird that he decides to take his gloves off before touching any of that.
He's a nasty man. You don't understand. He's filthy.
What are the gloves for?
To take off.
Okay, yep, fair enough. Good point.
Anyway, so Anna and Van are talking, and Anna
His
decides...
name is Gabriel.
His name is Gabriel for some reason
Van
now.
Helsing.
Gabriel Van... Well, his first name's like Abraham, I think.
Well, in real life, Van Helsing, Van Helsing, that was a real guy, just like Catholicism is a real religion.
How much did this movie make up? Wait a minute. Anyway, they're talking, and Anna's like, "You're right. He's not my brother anymore. He's a werewolf and a dog and a good puppy, and he will kill me." And anyways, it can't go much further down from. Oh no, we're falling! I'm falling.
Cut.
They
fade.
fall down,
No,
like,
not cut. Fade.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. They have their like kind of sexy moment almost, and then they just fall
in the rain.
A hole.
In the rain.
Yeah, and then it fades to black. They fall in a hole and it fades. It does not cut, which will always be so funny to me because it's like, and then they died.
And then they died. Anyway.
You could almost
anyway,
do the,
Carl had sex.
They had done the circle wipe, like go down like in Super Mario and just do like.
Carl did save some random villager, and then she asked him what she could do to help him to like pay him back, and he's like, "Well, we could bone." And she's like, "Yeah, all right."
You're a monk. No, I'm a friar. I can fucking save fuck.
I can
God
swear.
lets me say the bad words.
I can stay up past 10.
I kind of love that joke. It's super dumb, but I kind of love it.
And she's into it. She's down. Like
she
this
she's
is
so
like
hot immediately for it. The minute that he says like, "No, I'm good," she's like, "Oh."
The only reason they fuck is so he can wake up in the library and find a magical picture on the wall.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. To piece together a puzzle later so they can play Midnight Sonata or something and open up a bookcase. Yeah.
And they wake up fully clothed next to each other on the couch because this is PG-13.
Yeah, that's true.
Like she's like pulling the blanket up around herself when she's fully wearing clothes underneath.
Well, and you're talking too about like peasant clothes for what they think of Transylvania. So like we're talking big like flowing arms and like it's
goth Ren Fair.
Yes, she's really covered up. She does not need to be more covered.
But we need to move this along. This is going to be a long episode. So they fall into Frankenstein's bone pit is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
yes.
Where they find a pile of chicken bones and the Holy Bible.
And the made-up book, the Holy Bible. For this film. And then Frankenstein Monsters there is like, "I'll kill you because you're trying to kill me. We're not trying to kill you. We just think you're evil." Oh, yeah, that's fair.
And let me tell you, Frankenstein, he's woke.
They make him so woke.
Yeah, they do. Great. It's pretty good.
He's fully aware of like all the like systems of political systems of and systemic systems of oppression that are like present in this world, and like he's like doesn't want to cooperate, he doesn't want to participate. It's really good. I like anarchist Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's an anarchist. Frankie says trans lives matter. Just the best, most wholesome boy.
I love Frankenstein great. In this.
What a good boy.
He was not just reading the Bible down there.
He was eating all those people's bones.
All those chickens.
For some reason.
It's like the whole cast got Popeyes and threw their bones in a pile.
Anyway, he decides he wants to save Frankie instead of killing him, because Frankie is needed to power the Dracula
The Frankenstein machine
for his eggs, because there's more eggs than were in the other castle. There's a whole more castle of eggs.
Yeah, because they can't figure out how to let all the vampires stay alive instead of exploding weirdly. So they think, well, I don't know. What if we hooked a Frankenstein into it? Yeah, that'll work. Sounds good. We just need to jump it. I get it. We need a working car to jump the...
Yep.
Yeah.
That's basically the lore here, yeah.
So the Indiana Jones on a map out of Transylvania to try and go back to Rome on a carriage. But Dracula's wives, the ones that are left, two of them? Yeah,
two of them.
Go after him, and because Transylvanian horses are faster than every animal, including werewolves, which is important to remember.
Yes.
They catch up very easily and attack them, and then there's just a bridge out, inexplicably, for some reason.
And Van Helsing's driving the carriage, and he sees the bridge is out, and he realizes he's gonna have to ramp it.
I was gonna say, inexplicably for some reason. You mean because it's the coolest fucking thing ever? Because now that Van Helsing boy's out there doing it again. He's gotta jump that gorge.
It kicks ass. It's fantastic. All 6 horses jump.
But the
and
carriage
they
doesn't make it. Yeah.
So then you're like, but wait, I thought Frankenstein was in that carriage.
And so did the brides of
Dracula. Did the brides. So, the brides go down after the carriage. One of them grabs the door. Smart. Dracula.
Yes. Yeah,
and the dumb one grabs the wheel and starts spinning around. The bimbo one.
I forgot how much that was... They had to know that was hilarious, right?
It's real funny. But there wasn't a Frankenstein monster in there at all. There was a homemade pipe bomb with a bunch of spikes made of silver, I guess, which only explodes on impact. And you see Van Helsing knew that the carriage was not going to make that jump, so before he made it, dropped it.
At first I thought there was going to be a timer for it, and I was going to be like, how did he get the time? But I'm like, I guess it's not much better that he's just going to guess that the bridge is out and that therefore he can have, the carriage fall and blow up and that'll work.
Because the trick was they had 2 carriages.
Yeah, then the second carriage arrives.
But the question comes, but how did that get over the gorge?
It went a different way.
There was a different way. There was another path. You didn't see the other path?
There was just another bridge down the road.
Don't worry about it, yeah.
But unfortunately, they're now on the path that goes along a sheer cliff on the edge of the forest.
Yes. Again, 1,000-some feet. Everything is so unreal in its scale. Every scale is so far off. And this path... I hated this path so much. It bothered me so much. Well, because you'd think, okay, a path like that has to be there because beside it would be mountain. Otherwise, you'd move the path away from the cliff. No, it's just a forest. Why the fuck did they do the path there then? Just do it in the middle of the forest. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, especially when you have a 2,000-foot drop.
It's real dumb. It's real dumb.
It's funny. I find
funny.
the cliff's reveal to be funny.
The whole time, because Anna and Van Helsing had fallen to both sides of the carriage because a werewolf caught up to them, which it cannot do.
Yeah, the thing that it's not allowed to do, it did. Darn.
Yeah, which is the brother. There's only the one werewolf, which is the brother, so far.
And Anna's fine, but Van Helsing's balls are in trouble. So, in order to save his balls from getting ran over in the wheel of the carriage, Carl...
I care a lot about this guy's balls when he never fucks. Saying.
Right? But Carl needs to save him, so he unleashes Frankie, who pulls him up at the last frame. It was like a frame-perfect trick to save those balls. Which was... in vain, because the werewolf then pounces on him when he tries to jump off the carriage and bites him.
I don't think it's in vain. The werewolf didn't bite him in the balls. I want to make that clear, because we've seen a lot of movies where that would happen, and I just need to make sure that is clear.
Look, the important thing is that we know that Van Helsing, who gets bit by the werewolf and then is going to become a werewolf, has nards. We have
Correct,
confirmed that because they have not been taken away at this point. Anyway, he kills the brother in cold blood like a murderer and then calls himself a murderer because he's a horrible person.
Yeah, he shoots him with a silver bullet and finally kills him. And Anna runs over to him and is like, oh no, my brother's finally dead, my only surviving family member. And she's very sad and she's mad at Van Helsing for about 2 seconds before Alira, the last remaining vampire wife, shows up and just fucking grabs her and flies away. This happens in like 30 seconds.
It sure does, yeah.
Well, also, Anna's really, really mad about the thing that they both agreed to do and that she's been trying to do now for multiple scenes as she's, like, shot at her brother over and over again with silver bullets.
Yeah, she's just emotionally reacting to the situation because she's a woman. So she's got to have emotions about it.
It's real dumb.
Nothing about this movie is smart, but it is a lot of fun.
But she gets abducted back to Dracula's
after all this work.
Pad, I guess. And now we have Frankie, Carl, and Dog Helsing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it immediately cuts to Budapest, downtown, day.
They're there now.
Yeah.
Fully daytime.
Fully day
It
again.
is fully daytime. And then again, Alira enters the scene and is like, oh, it's me again with my sexy vampire transformation. I want to, Dracula wants to bargain with you. Again, bam, bam, bam. Like, they really had to compress this part.
It feels like the beginning of another episode or something. It's weird. Yeah.
And she's
there's a few cutoffs like that definitely feel like they could have been episodes of a thing. And like you said, it's so compressed because it's just, oh, they're in Budapest. 5 seconds later, she's there. And you're like, wait, what? She knew where they were.
Yeah.
She found them. It's middle of the day, which most of the coach scene was also. It's...
Well, the cloud. You see, the
cloud.
back.
Very important cloud.
And she just left. So then in the next scene, she comes back into the scene. And you're just like, what? There's no wives left. They're down to the last wife.
The final wife. That's like a Dark Souls boss.
Final wife.
The final wife. And dung eater.
Don't worry, we get to that later. But he goes, okay, well, we'll make the deal. I'm going to trade off Frankenstein. And so they chain Frankenstein up and they go and meet Dracula at... She goes, he's actually here in Budapest. I guess. Oh, and there's also...
Tomorrow night is All Hallows Eve. And here in Budapest, we have a wonderful masquerade ball.
Yep, he's already planned a masquerade ball in advance for his good boyfriend Van Helsing. Very nice.
Do you think the DM just shoehorned this in because it was getting close to Halloween? They needed a fun event for their campaign. Something happened here.
We gotta hit all the Hot Topic greatest hits, and one of those is Goth Masquerade Ball.
That's true. But everybody at the ball is a vampire, you see. So
they hide Frankenstein away in a crypt, and they go, the only way he's getting out of there is if the dead help him. Dun dun dun, immediately cuts to a grave, shifting, which is kind of amazing. And the other thing is...
I don't know why they did that.
Sidekick,
why did they think... Why did they think that was safe
because
in Vampire City?
Because they don't even show any zombies or anything else after that. There's nothing undead besides the vampires, and they were already at the masquerade. It doesn't matter. But Carl also has to get disguised, so they don't recognize him. The man that they have not yet seen because he's been holed up in a library or hidden away because he's not a fighter. So they put him into a stupid jester's costume. And Van Helsing has to make sure that he gets disguised also. So he wears a tiny mask.
He basically did the Superman thing of becoming Clark Kent. Just putting on some glasses. They'll never notice me.
He's dressed like a freaking musketeer, and
Yeah.
Carl's
But
a
he was
jingling
always dressed
fool.
like a musketeer. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's dressed like a different musketeer.
He even has the same fucking hat. He's always been in these big Victorian cloaks and stuff, and he just wears a slightly different Victorian cloak and the same fucking hat. And it's like, yeah, bro, nobody will recognize you. You got this.
The point is, they end up saving Anna from the vampire ball. Mm-hmm. But Frankie gets taken.
Yeah.
So that's the important part of this scene. So they need to figure out where Dracula's new home is, because they don't know his HOA, and they can't just call. to figure out what number he's at. So they need to
they've
check
got to
the phone
report him.
book.
There's no way that he got approval to have all those electrical lines
the
so that he can resurrect his children.
Like, don't even get me started on the bodies staked outside, right? Like, ugh. It's not even Halloween. No, well, it was Halloween. It's getting close to November. They need to start putting out their Christmas stuff, you know?
It's all cold. Everything's cold all the time, so it's really hard to tell.
Yeah, because that's the trick, is they find out that actually Dracula's dad was the guy, like her great-great-great-great-grandfather or whatever, the ancestor.
Yeah, the Valerius guy.
family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was actually his son. That's the secret history they don't tell you. To which she goes, yeah, no, every fucking idiot
Everybody
in the universe
knew
knows
that.
this. What the fuck are you talking which is pretty great. He's like, also, he has a secret castle that he exiled his son to in a frozen wasteland. I don't know. He's got a fortress of solitude.
For some reason.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
So they open up a portal mirror in the library using some shenanigans stuff.
Yeah. A MacGuffin established at the very beginning of the movie.
Well, it's the one he found when he had sex. That's why he knows
That's
about
part
it.
of the MacGuffin,
Because
yes.
Carl had sex.
There's also a MacGuffin that Van Helsing was given by the church, though.
That's true. He was given the tiny scrap of paper that had the word "the" in Latin on it, which was missing.
Yes.
For the chant. Anyways...
and then we get the greatest ice effects of 2004.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. The carbonite in Star Wars looked a bit better, I'm going to be honest.
It looks... Every effect in this movie looks absolutely miserable. And I mean, I feel like... I know that some of that is that it's 2004, but like I've watched things like The Matrix pretty recently... And that holds up way better than this. Like, visual effects-wise,
ice that turns you into a JPEG.
Yeah, the JPEG faces. Well, they also had... they had Dracula's face over Vlad's painting from Google on an image search. So, I mean, can't ask too much.
They've had a lot of JPEG effects at this point. Yeah. The one bride dying was unreal. Like, you could see some white still around her where they didn't fully cut out the JPEG, basically. Like, it was really so uncanny. Sharp edges. It's bad.
Yeah, but
they just put a drop shadow on that layer and called it a day.
Basically.
The crew enters Dracula's frozen castle of cold, which is what Dracula's known for.
Yeah.
And they find Frankie in a literal ice cube. Like, cut in a cube form factor.
Yes.
Yeah, and Frankie's like, no, go on without me. And also, there's a cure for werewolf lycanthrope to buy.
Save yourself from werewolfitis.
Yeah. So they need to find the syringe MacGuffin cure, which is going to be in a room somewhere in a glass case of acid or whatever. I don't know, whatever.
But also, at the same time, it turns out that Dracula has the cure for werewolfitis because he knows of his only weakness, because Van Helsing already stabbed him through the heart with a silver stake.
And lit him on fire, and used
lit him on fire, all these
kinds
of things. So he doesn't die like a normal vampire. Oh, no. He only dies from werewolfitis. Werewolfitis will kill him. That's it.
So they need Dracula and a big sweaty Hugh Jackman to wrestle.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Because it's hot.
Anyway, Sorry,
anyway, about the syringe.
So basically, they break off into 3 different fighting game arenas.
Yeah.
There's God, so true.
It's extremely just arenas for the battles.
They're just Mortal Kombat arenas, is what they are. So it's Anna versus the last Dracula wife.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There's
girls. The girls have to fight. It's girls can only fight girls in action movies. It's the law.
Girl fight. Girl boss.
Pitting 2 strong women against each other. Yeah, typical Hollywood.
And then the 2 hot guys have to fight. That's right, Friar Carl and Igor.
Yeah.
They need to have their fight. And of course, Van Helsing versus Dracula, which is the least interesting fight of all.
And boy, they do a lot of transformation back and forth.
Sure do. They yell at each other a lot and bark and growl. And there's some odd sexual tension.
And Dracula, once he realizes that he's in danger, is like, oh, well, we're not so different, you and I. Maybe we can, hey. But,
hey, man, come on.
I'm just a little guy. Remember those special nights we shared?
But Frankie's stuck on the roof getting electrocuted because there's a bike lock on his chain, and he doesn't remember the combination. Mm-hmm. So he has to wait until he gets electrocuted to wake up all of Dracula's babies from the Dracula eggs. And then he jumps off the roof on a rope, and George of the Jungle's one-handed swings down to the bridge that Igor and Carl are fighting on with Igor's cattle prod.
Everybody in this movie swings from a rope, holding onto the rope with one hand. Yes. Everyone's doing fucking one-handed rope swings in this whole goddamn movie, and I hurt my shoulder yesterday.
Also, they're all doing it from, again, 500 feet in the air.
You gotta stop jumping off a cliff with a 6 mile long
I know.
rope.
That's how I did it, and I'm just really mad because it's such a bad idea, and I just want to remind everyone that you can dislocate your shoulder that way.
But Frankie kills Igor, which, well, we think kills Igor.
Yeah, he drops him into the mist dimension.
Into the mist. He'll be back. We already saw this happen to the werewolf brother 3 times. He'll be fine.
We'll buff right out.
And then he swings down under the bridge, which somehow brings him up into the castle where the next fighting room was with Anna versus the Dracula wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he kicks her through a window.
Yes.
Which is great.
And then he
it's like, oh,
her.
Anna's in trouble, and who could save her? And then Frank is like crashes through the fucking window.
Yeah. But great. That's not enough to take her out.
No, I love that the fight with like Frankenstein and same with Mr. Hyde earlier on have like big wrestler energy. Like Frankenstein's walking around with his arms out and he's just this really muscular guy. Like the way he always looks like he's playing to an invisible crowd. And Mr. Hyde in the first fight at one point, he like does a move on Van Helsing and then like turns around like they're in an arena and like raises his arms in the air like he's trying to pump everybody up. And you're like, you're at the top of Notre Dame, dude. What are you doing? And I love the energy of these fights. It's amazing. It's very stupid.
It's great. We love it.
Good. And most people don't know this, but Frankenstein actually the name of the monster. It's Mary Shelley.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lore.
That's why he's wearing the stilettos.
And that's why he's catwalking every time you see him. Yeah, no, it makes sense when you think about it. Slay, Frank.
God, I love Frankenstein in this.
He's such a good boy.
He's so good. They really leaned into like Frankenstein as Frankenstein's monster as like the Ubermensch kind of a thing where like he's really smart and also incredibly strong and also incredibly compassionate. Like, he's a triple threat, if you will.
But
yeah.
The Dracula wife escapes Frankie and goes after Anna some more. And then as she's like taunting Anna about killing her and drinking her blood, Carl throws Anna a silver stake, which kills her. Like,
yeah.
She kills the Dracula wife. But she's like, you shouldn't go saying things until you kill someone. Then you should do your speech. But I'm gonna kill you now. So.
Yeah, she makes fun of her for talking like a villain before killing someone and giving them an opportunity to kill them,
because it's a cartoon.
Yeah, this is a cartoon. And then the third wife is finally down.
I want to ask really quickly. I meant to write it down, but I remember at the very beginning, Van Helsing had a one-liner, and like it just embodies all the energy of every one-liner they have in this movie. When he's fighting Mr. Hyde. Do you remember?
Where he has his, that just happened moment.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember what he said, no.
It was something like, that looks bad, or like...
Oh, yeah. So he chops off Mr. Hyde's arm and he goes like,
that
looks unpleasant.
Or something, yeah.
And it's like delivered like just so fucking flat and it's terrible. And she does the same thing with this one. She just says it so matter-of-factly. It's... Oh, God. I love all the delivery in this.
No.
Oh, but that's upsetting.
So then it cuts back to Dracula and Van Helsing fighting, and it's midnight, which means that Van Helsing can turn into a good boy, so he transforms into Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, tell me about that dog. What did you, based on Hugh Jackman's costuming and wig in this film, what kind of dog did you think he would be versus what kind of dog does he actually be?
I was thinking like Pomeranian.
Yeah, I was thinking definitely brown. Most werewolves are brown.
Yeah. You nailed the Cocker Spaniel look earlier.
Cocker Spaniel would have worked.
Yeah. Just like a very like a good boy, a good dog.
Instead, he looks like the scene from Altered Beast PS2, which is a really bad video game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, instead he's a jet black, pointed ear, pointed snout. Again, very hot topic of him, and with long black straight hair.
Which doesn't really make a lot of sense, but okay. He's very hot for CG werewolf.
But he's a different kind of hot than he was before. It doesn't fit as like this is the same character.
So they're fighting, but then the clouds come in with their Deus Ex Cloud Machina to transform him back. And Dracula's like, you and I could have had so much sex.
I can't believe that Boyk's making up all these terms like Deus Ex Cloud Machina instead of what it's known as, Deus Ex Circulonimbus. Please.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, Circulonimbus. That makes sense.
Just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that some of us understand theatrical terms here.
And
but then... Yeah,
Dracula reveals that the whole reason he became a vampire, because we know that his dad was a big-time church guy, was to escape the Catholic Church, which is the reason that all of us become vampires in real life as well. And he's like, you can escape the Catholic Church as well, Gabriel, the left hand of God. Anyway, I just thought that was fun.
All you have to do is be a good boy. Who's a good boy?
Yeah, so we're left to wonder if Van Helsing is, in fact, the angel Gabriel.
The angel Gabriel. Because they were setting this up for a sequel, you see.
It had to have been, because there's no backstory that makes sense for this.
But then the clouds leave, because they're like, oh shit, this scene's going on for too long. And he transforms back, and then he kills Dracula. And then Anna tries to stab him with the syringe to give him the cure before he fully transforms, because he's already transformed, and it's not enough yet, but it might be soon, I think. But then the good boy...
before.
Yeah, the good boy sees Anna, and then he glomps her for Pocky.
Yeah, he glomps her too hard, and she unfortunately dies of glomping.
And she didn't have a Yowie paddle to cancel the glomping, so... It was 2004, all right? That's the lore.
I know, and you all tried to lie to me about this being the first glomping, like I was some kind of noob. I've been around, I know all about the first glomping deaths.
Yeah.
Glomping death history.
So then it hard cuts to the top of a CGI cliff with some of the worst CGI grass I've ever seen.
It's the reason why it's so bad, I need to just explain real quickly, is that it zooms it in, and it's focused really, really tight on just a few blades of grass as they wave gently at about 3 frames a second.
You can feel every frame and count them, yeah.
It is brutal how choppy it is. There's a few times that it does it, but this is one of the worst, because did they know that they could film grass? Like, grass exists. Right? Like, mountains and grass are things
they could have just gone outside?
Yeah.
Next you're going to tell me Catholicism's real. Come on.
I'm not going to tell you
I've never touched grass, and I never will. You can't make me.
The low poly, super, super low frame rate grass is just... Oh, it's such a decision, because this movie cost almost $200 million. And you're like, they would have been cheaper to just film it.
But the point of the
crazy. But they're at the ocean, which of course Transylvania known for its proximity to oceans. Where they're giving Anna a Viking funeral for some reason.
Because she's a Viking, yeah. But Frankie wanted nothing to do with it, so he got on a raft.
Yeah. A raft from Tears of the Kingdom.
Right.
3 logs.
He made a raft out of logs.
And he's going out into the open ocean.
He's paddling out into the Atlantic Ocean for some reason.
On that 3-log raft.
Ocean, wherever he is. I guess.
Not a real
did
boat.
He go? Where is he going? Why is he doing this?
Gotta wait for Van Helsing too.
But that's not the end. Oh no.
No.
What happened at the end, Eva?
Hey, do you guys like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Have you seen?
Oh, you know it. Yeah.
Have you seen it? Yeah. Have you seen the part at the end?
The part 3?
For part 4? Or part 3? Yeah, part 3.
So Anna's ashes, float up in the sky and the camera follows them and we see the sun peeking through the clouds, are the villain of the entire movie, still there, and superimposed lightly over the clouds, the what did you call it? Circumlocumus?
Yes.
Formation around the sun. We see Anna's happy face, and not only do we see her happy face, but we then see the faces of her and her whole family. So the brother comes in, the dad comes in, more faces come in from like other ancestors that were stuck in purgatory because of the curse, and they're all in the clouds, just like at the fucking end of JoJo's.
They're all there.
Who did it better?
Oh my god.
They both have an Iggy.
They both have they do. They have a dog.
But also Igor.
Oh, but Igor didn't die. Otherwise, he would have been up there too.
Oh, that's.
I'm pretty sure Igor is still alive. I don't know.
But yeah, it's great because it's Kate Beckinsale's headshot again, and the best thing is that's not the first time that we've seen it in this movie.
I think it's the same one that they. It had to be the headshot that they send out when they're casting.
It looks like it in a way.
It had to be.
Because they have another one of her earlier when they're explaining to Van Helsing who he has to protect. They have her headshot. Just here's our photo of her, and then she
Van
floats
Helsing
off into the clouds.
Yep, floats off. Van Helsing and Carl ride off into the sunset on horseback because it was a western the whole time. And then it cuts to credits.
It was Jonah Hex. It was the Jonah Hex in our heart.
I can understand how you could be confused. I get it. Yeah.
It's still funny, though.
It makes sense.
These all blur together. This whole era.
That's Van Helsing. That was a film.
That's it.
So normally at the end of these, we rate the dogs. I counted at least 4 dogs.
4 dogs?
4 dogs. So there's Velkin, who is Anna's brother, which I didn't name until now, but I remembered his name finally.
Sorry, I know everyone's name. You could have asked me at any time.
I'll keep calling him the wolf. The werewolf, it's fine. But he's the brother.
Devac pulling out her "Please ask me about Van Helsing" shirt and sign.
Devac has one of those like whiteboards full of names and lines drawn with string and everything.
All Van Helsing characters.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
It all comes back to Dracula.
So Velkin is a good boy, falls off cliffs, and disappears for about 10 seconds of the film at a time, and then comes back.
Yeah.
Doesn't really accomplish anything in the movie, I guess, but,
He gives Anna some information.
Yeah. It's an okay dog. I would, maybe like a 10 out of 10. Just an okay dog. That's my rating.
I'm going to rate him a lot higher. Yeah, I do want to rate him a little higher than that myself, just because there's one line in there that's really important to know about Velkin, which is that he no longer sheds. So,
that's
beat
true.
that. I want a husky that never sheds. Like, Velkin, he can come in my house and he's not going to, leave things all over the couch. Perfect. What a good boy.
If you have allergies, perfect dog.
Hypoallergenic Velkin.
Yeah. Sorry, what was that, D-Bag?
That was just me laughing. But also, he's His werewolf transformation is interesting. He gets a different, like Van Helsing just morphs between man and wolf, but Velkin gets like the full nasty ripping your skin off both ways to turn from man to wolf and then from wolf to man. He's much more stereotypical werewolf that you would expect him to look like. And so, you know, and he's trying the whole time, he's always trying to resist his werewolf nature.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do love the good skin peel.
What's the rating for that? That's a...
Does not shed out of 10.
I see.
All
I
right.
see.
Van Helsing is the next dog. I don't know how to rate old Vanny over here, you know? What does he do? I guess, like, he could do cool tricks. He's very smoochable. Looks good in the rain.
I just don't like that he turned into a big black dog with straight hair. Like almost like an Anubis type of looking guy. It's so different from what I expected. It feels weird and like compensating to me. Like, it's like, look at this cool dog that I'm gonna become. He's goth and
he's like a goth poser dog out of town.
Yeah, he's got like
very
scene
true.
hair.
Because when you look at him normally, as much as they goth him up a lot, he is obviously a soft boy. Like, he's just a soft boy. He's just
is he the Archangel Gabriel or not? Movie?
There's a real good chance that he's the Archangel Gabriel.
So is that the dog version of the Archangel Gabriel?
Yeah,
I think not.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's Van Helsing. Next is Igor.
Yeah, I don't know. With Van Helsing, I think I could go either way.
Either way. So you would go a transformative performance out of 10.
Maybe both ways. Yeah. All right.
I would say Velkin -1.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Igor is the next dog. Igor is a very good boy. Just does what he loves and loves what he does, and he's nothing more than that. And he wears his pride on his sleeve and his shirt that says, "I like doing torture," I guess.
All he wants is good scratches behind the ears from his master Dracula and to torture some dogs. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
He wants equal pay, too. You forgot. Equal pay for all minions. I would say that's an Igor should probably start a union with those Oompa Loompas out of 10.
Absolutely.
Rip to a real one. Buried in the mist with his best friend, the cattle prod.
The cattle prod. That's his favorite toy.
That's true. At least they gave him his favorite toy.
Yeah, and then of course Frankie, the best boy.
Ah, yes, Frankenstein's
He's
monster.
The fourth dog. I would give Frankie a goodest boy, down with the system anarchy out of 10.
Absolutely, definitely the best one, the best of all, better than all of us.
Yeah, at least the 13 out of 10.
This is true. Right? Yeah, Frankenstein is he's one of the best dogs we've ever had. I'm gonna just say it. I loved Frankenstein in this movie. He's great. That was actually something I was thinking about as we talked about this for the podcast. I kind of, watching this movie, I didn't fully appreciate all of it, but the more that I talk about it, I'm like, I just maybe wasn't in the right mindset for how dumb this movie is, but how much it knows how dumb it is and just doesn't care. Because it is a
just
ride.
Like me and Boinks. We know how dumb we are and we don't care.
Yeah, that's me. Wow.
What a great film.
So that is Van Helsing. Thank you again for being here, DVAC, for this wonderful episode. We appreciate it. Is there anything you want to plug while you're here?
Sure. Hi, I'm Devious Vacuum. Every Tuesday night, I stream with Chorps Away on twitch.tv/Chorps Away. We do the date night show where we play visual novels. Right now, assuming this is going to come out soon, right now we're playing Radiant Tale, which is about clowns. No, it's about a traveling circus that's trying to like cheer up the king so that he won't be sad anymore. And it's great, and you can date a clown and a dragon in it. And then every Saturday, I stream with Urchin, who's my boyfriend, on twitch.tv/evil_urchin, where we play some kind of Warhammer game. We've played a lot of Warhammer games. Some of them have been good. Some of them have not been good. And tune in to find out which one it is on Saturday nights.
Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, so that's the podcast. You can, of course, support us on Patreon and get episodes like this early, even, for doing so. We spend that money for movie rentals, equipment. I own a Chinese bootleg DVD player that plays DVDs that wouldn't play in real DVD players.
Nice.
Which one was that for? That was for the,
that was
like...
Cerberus, the made-for-TV sci-fi movie that was on a very terrible transfer.
Mm-hmm.
That just didn't work.
Oh, that thing is so bad, too.
Beautiful.
Yep. So if you want to see more weird lost media and or goofy out there content from us, supporting us is a great way to do that. You can also email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com and check us out on social media at co-host and Blue Sky at roughcutscast. And I think that's it for this episode.
Awoo!
Awoo!
Did you think they would get to live happily ever after? No, this is a Hot Topic movie.
She's dead.
Oh, that was quick.
How did she die?
Well, you see, he glomped her for Pocky.
Glomp death, the first recorded death by glomping.
Oh, listen, okay, what date was this movie?
I don't know, 2004?
You said like 2004,
baby.
Yeah, I was 04. Yeah.
Okay, then that is way past the first death by glomping. I was on the internet in 98, and listen. Come on, I've been around.